Welcome to Paranormal Almanac with your host, Kurt Sandvik.
Hey, howdy, hi. That's right. I'm your host, Kurt Sandvik, and on this week's edition of Paranormal Almanac, let's talk about blue paranormal things. Blue da ba dee ba da da ba da ba dee ba blue da ba dee. You know what I'm talking about. Actually, you don't. And nor should you. I'll explain in just a minute. But first, as always, let's do shout-outs. That's right. We got shout-outs going out to the patrons. Thankfully, patron listened to me, and they said, oh, it's just a glitch. Oh, it's fine. No, you can see your patrons. And I'm like, no, I can't. So they fixed it. So shout-outs going out to Danny Dark Cipher. That's a cool name. Sarah, Angie, Lisa Cervantes, Curious Hedgehog. Hey, howdy, hi, welcome back. Diana, George, Casey the Pitbull, Deb B. Oh, Casey the Pitbull. That always gets, I forgot. That 100% gets a, I wish I had an aw kind of a sound effect, because there's a photo of Casey the Pitbull. It's a tiny little photo, but photo nonetheless. Absolutely love it. Deb B, Corey, GC, Tracy, hey, howdy, hi. Newt MacGyver, getting MacGyver on it. B Melty, Avril, Loch Ness, not a monster. Stacy, oh, speaking of not a monster, the song by Paranormal Almanac from the album Unwelcome Songs that I know you guys all listen to. Something happened, I can only assume it was one of you, that album is over not 1,000 listens, over 10,000 listens in the past, I don't know. I mean, it's been out for well over a year, so look, it's not going to win a Grammy, right? Yeah, not going to win a Grammy, not going to have a gold record, but still, what are you guys doing? Who's doing it? Which one of you is doing it? Are you listening to it just constantly? Like, are you constantly saying, Alexa, play Unwelcome Songs by Paranormal Almanac, and then just on repeat forever? Crazy. Weird. I don't know who's doing it. I can tell you it's who's not doing it. None of my friends, because every now and then I'll be like, oh, yeah, I did a song about, like, you did a song? I'm like, yeah, I told you. I have a whole album. You can listen to it on Spotify. Oh, I'll have to listen to it. Then the next time I see them, I'm like, how bad was Unwelcome Songs? They're like, what's that? I'm like, the album that I did that I told you about. Don't you remember? Oh, yeah, I gotta listen to it. No, they're never going to listen to it. Anyhow, Loch Ness, not a monster. Stacy, Leviathan. Stygian, hey, howdy, hi. Johnny the Pommy, hey, howdy, hi. I hope you're keeping safe, because the stupid, weird news, the not real earthquake news that after the Russia quake, well, even before that, I listen to all these, I look at all these guys on social media that say, like, I can tell you exactly when an earthquake's going to hit. And, they're mostly wrong, but they did, I'm air quoting here, predict the earthquake in Russia. Kurt here, so did I. I put it out, listen to my 2025 predictions episode. I called it. But I also called the Trump-Elon Musk breakup. I called that. Anyhow, they were saying that because of this massive quake in Russia, that there now needs to be a massive quake on the other side of the plates, if you will. And that could be America, or that could be south, like New Zealand area. So, Johnny the Pommy, stay safe. I need my friends, and not just Johnny the Pommy. JT, you're in Australia. Up next on the list of patrons, I got Australian and New Zealand fans. I want everybody to look. Can you all just be safe? No fires, no earthquakes, no hurricanes, no tornadoes. No tornadoes. You know who I'm talking about. I'm looking in your direction, Mr. Tornado Chaser. He knows. Doogie Hoare, Mike G, Tracy B, Richard, Alec, Karen, Duran, Lori, Rebecca, Jane Ann, hey, howdy, hi. Heather G, your friendly neighborhood skinwalker. Zuzus, what's it? Nico Share in the Mouse, hey, howdy, hi. Andrew, Mark and Tina, Tortuga, JB, Andy, Virginia Mailman, Tony the Magician, Vicky, Crow, Libido Works, Isabel, Jen, Tracy, Kick-Ass Magic Robot Webcomic, Sandy, Paige, Kaush, Scott, Andrea, Melody, Vanessa, If I Was the Devil. Through. It didn't seem very loud. Let's try that again. If I Was the Devil. There we go. That's much better. Elizabeth, Sherry, hey, howdy, hi. Art Muffin, Tim, East Clintwood. I almost screwed it up again. East Clintwood. Kenneth, Alexandra, Zozo the Demon. Hayden, Cindy, Ashley, Robin, Lauren, Russell, Isabel, Audra, Dorian, Cindy, Paula, Jerry, Jeff, Lawrence, the Lawrence Strawn, hey, howdy, hi, Veronica, Autumn, Carolyn, and Nashi, Todd, Jamie, and Elijah Hendrickson. I got to see all three of them just like last week sometime. It was a lot of fun. Dan, Laura Pitts, and the one, the only, the incredible, the Gamer Fan. Okay, patrons. Here's the deal. We're now like 3 or 4 episodes away from the 300th. I figured now is a great time. If you're a patron now, you are entered into winning merch of your choice. That's right. It doesn't have to necessarily be a 300th episode style, although that'd be cool because they're limited edition. But it doesn't have to be a shirt. It can be a bunch of stuff because I was told today that Dashery now has a variety. I mean, it's always had a variety, but it has even more of a variety of merch. That's right. You can now get shorts, which I was very excited when they told me because it's going to be like 1,000,000 degrees here for a very long time. I need shorts. So if I'm going to wear shorts anyway with my skinny chicken legs, might as well have Paranormal Almanac shorts. So patrons, I'm not done with the shout-outs yet. Don't worry. I got 2 shout-outs. Don't worry. Patrons, you are now all entered in to win merchandise of your choice. You can pick. Do you want it to be a t-shirt, a hoodie, a tank top, a hat, a sticker, a mug? There's more. What else is there? There's, I already said tank tops, crew necks, sure. Stickers and hats. Oh, hats, phone case, a tote, a pin. Look, if you pick a pin, you can pick more than just a pin because pins are like $2. But don't worry, we'll figure that out. A magnet, a mug, a pillow, a tapestry. It's more like a tiny flag, or wall art. That's right. You are now all entered in. You do not have to be a patron at the time of the 300th. I have the list of patrons. I just said it to you guys, who are now all entered in to win a merchandise, Paranormal Almanac merchandise of your choice. And if you were like, but wait, what if I just want to buy merchandise of my choice? Well, you can do that too. You can head on over to paranormal-almanac.dashery, DASHERY.com for all your merch needs, including shorts. I'm very excited. Honestly, this is not a plug. I'm really excited about shorts because, again, I got like little chicken legs. If I'm going to have my little chicken legs exposed, I want them to be exposed with Paranormal Almanac shorts. Alrighty. With that, I have 2 very special shout-outs, as always, to Joe Teague and to my boy Stitch. Also, my girl Rum, who's sleeping next to me. She is out like a light. I should get right into paranormal news, but I got to say, I'm trying to do an experiment here. My phone has not rang at all, no text, no nothing, for 4 hours. I bet money, now that I say it, it probably won't happen, but it never fails. Like, I didn't silence it. So I'm going to see is it only when I'm recording that everybody knows somehow that I'm recording? They're like, well, we got to call Kurt. He's recording. So let's see if the phone rings. But first, paranormal news.
news.
Well, okay, if it's time for it, let's do it. First story in paranormal news, J.D. Vance says he's obsessed with mysterious UFO videos. He briefly discussed UFOs on the Ruthless podcast. Apparently, there are other podcasts besides Paranormal Almanac. It doesn't sound good. I just stick with this one. He brought up footage of drones over the Northeast in 2024, and he says he wants to, quote, get to the bottom. Actually, he says he wants to get, quote, to the bottom, unquote, of it. It's a weird air quoting area, but sure, why not? But he says he's obsessed with the whole UFO thing. What's actually going on? What were these videos all about? What's actually happening? I haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but we're only 6 months in. Okay, Kurt here. You're the vice president. You're supposed to be the second most powerful person in the world. Figure it out. This isn't being political. I would say that to any vice president who is saying that. Well, then figure it out. I can't. You know what? You do it. I can't. Come on. Alrighty, up next in paranormal news. This is one that was sent to me in 90 different ways. So I'm just going to read this one because it made me laugh. Baba Vanga was right. Scientists claim alien ship larger than Manhattan, moving at 1.3 LAKH miles per hour to attack Earth this November. I asked for it last year for my birthday. I said, look, by my next birthday, can aliens invade already? We're done here. We did our best. Not really. Let's just take us out. Just put us out of our misery. Anyhow, legendary Bulgarian mystic Baba Vanga had reportedly predicted that humanity would make contact with aliens in 2025. Kurt here, so did I. But recently, scientific claims suggest contact may come sooner and far more hostile. According to a report published on July 16th, cited by the New York Post and Southwest News Service, a team of scientists have warned that an alien spacecraft may be headed towards Earth, potentially launching an attack as early as this November. The object in question, named 3I Atlas, was first detected on July 1st and is racing towards the sun at over 130,000 miles per hour. Just a day after its discovery, astronomers confirmed that it's originated from outside our solar system. Initial observations suggested it might be a comet, roughly 15 miles in diameter, making it larger than Manhattan. But in their paper, researchers Avi Loeb, Adam Hibbard, and Adam Crowell from the Initiative for Interstellar Studies proposed that Atlas might not be a natural object at all, but rather a piece of extraterrestrial spy technology in disguise. If you don't know, Avi Loeb's gone down that road before. Look, I'm not saying he's not wrong. I hope he's right, but grain of salt it. Avi Loeb, a Harvard astrophysicist known for his controversial theory that the 2017 object, Oumuamua, or as I like to call it, Oumuamua, could have been an alien reconnaissance, Kurt, say the word, probe, and he argues that Atlas displays several unusual characteristics, including a unique trajectory and exceptionally high speed, and these anomalies could point to intelligent origin. In a blog post, he noted that the object's path through the solar system allows it to pass close to Jupiter, Mars, and Venus, an ideal opportunity for aliens to covertly deploy surveillance gadgets on these planets. All right, I'm with you up till that point. You're just making shit up at this point. Look, I can say, hey, you know that object, Atlas, whatever's coming at us? It's flying by Jupiter, Mars, and Venus to put up motels, alien motels, like the little alien that's out by Area 51. They're franchised by the aliens now, and the aliens are putting up hotels on Jupiter, Mars, and Venus because they are a better neighborhood than anything on Earth, because Earth is infested with humans. You don't want to go near them. You don't want to touch them. Roll up your windows, lock your doors as you fly by Earth. See, I can make shit up too. What's more concerning is that 3I Atlas reaches its closest point to the sun in late November. It will temporarily vanish from Earth's view, and he suggests this may be a deliberate move to avoid detection by Earth-based telescopes, possibly the moment when alien technology could be dispatched towards our planet. A lot of possibilities in this. If Atlas is indeed a technological artifact, it may support, quote, the dark forest hypothesis, the idea that intelligent alien civilizations stay hidden to avoid detection by potential threats. Makes sense to me. He warns that this situation may not just be surveillance, but a precursor to a potential alien attack, urging that defensive measures may need to be considered. Okay, what? What defensive measures do we have if they can literally do interstellar travel? We're doomed. We're monkeys with sticks. He says, whether this object turns out to be a comet or a cosmic Trojan horse, the scientific world, the public, and paramaniacs will be watching closely as November approaches. Sure, why not? He didn't add paramaniacs. I added that just for a little flavor, just in case you're wondering, is Avi Loeb talking about Kurt? Not as far as I mean, maybe, but not as far as I'm aware. Alrighty, up next in paranormal news, Loch Ness Monster, not a monster, caught on video. New footage raises questions. I've been wanting to watch this. I haven't clicked on it yet. They ask, has the Loch Ness Monster, not a monster, finally been found? The mythical and folklore creature. Well, we all know where Nessie is. Come on, let's kick it out. Here we go. The YouTube page. Not going to share it. Shared a video this week of something spotted in the region. I'll share it if it's legit. If I click on it and go, ooh, I'll post it. Otherwise, it's nonsense. They described the YouTube video as saying, Livia and her boyfriend saw something dipping in and out of the water near the castle and captured a short video. It could easily have been a seal, which do appear in Loch Ness from time to time, or a tree caught in the castle's outlet pipe. Either way, they left with a story to tell and a video that had them wondering what else might be beneath the surfaces. What do you think it is? Alrighty, let's watch the video. I've been wanting to watch this thing.
Something that's not just a twig that's going in and out.
Huh. I'm leaning towards tree branch. I can see why they... Oh, that's it? What? That's it? You filmed it for 11 seconds? It's still moving. Why would you stop filming? My guess is... No, I'm definitely saying it's nonsense now because they filmed it. It's dead center. It's not going down. It didn't disappear for 11 seconds and then they just stopped filming. No, you stopped filming because whatever the rest of it was, a branch most likely, came to the surface and you were like, it's just a branch. But I can't get 1 million views for just a branch. So, yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Where is that? Hold on. Alien caught on home camera. There might be a late addition to paranormal news because, yes, there is. Oh, this is a first. A late addition to paranormal news. In now, aliens in Compton. Woman's Ring camera captures a strange creature outside her home. That's right, a Compton, California resident's quest for clarity on what she captured on her doorbell camera, widely circulated on social media, has the public asking, are there aliens in Compton? An 11-second video, that's what reminded me of it, posted by Jessica Ortiz, garnered more than 1 million views on her Instagram account. The quick clip, taken by the Ring camera on her porch, shows an alien-looking creature trotting alongside her porch. Now, the creature can only be seen for a second or two at the bottom of the screen before it's out of view. I was like, I'm going crazy. I'm literally going crazy. I'm losing my mind. It happened around 1 a.m. on June 5th. And yes, I watched it. I'll post it on the Facebook fan page. I did watch it. There is something very alien-like that pops along the camera. But here's my question. Unless this woman watches everything that sets off her Ring camera in the middle of the night, why would she be watching it? And I guess that's just it. Why would she be watching it? Because, look, my Ring camera, blink camera, whatever you call it, doorbell camera, goes off all the time. I very rarely check to see what caused that one to go off. Especially now that I'm in an apartment complex. It's going off when people walk by all the time. Oh, no, hold on. I've got to pause this because the news story about this has an interview with her, and then another familiar face popped up on there, so I definitely have to listen to this. We'll play it in just a second. But my question is, why would she be watching it? And then I get why she posted it. She got 1 million views. I've never had 1 million views of anything. So, like the Loch Ness Monster that was only 11 seconds long, not a monster, it probably was very easily explainable, but if you only post the first 11 seconds of it, you get 1 million views. Alrighty, I got to listen to this news source. Hold on 1 second.
I was sitting in my son's room with my son. We were staring at each other like, what do we do? We didn't even know what to do. Like, I'm not going to call the police. I'm not going to go outside. I guess I'm going to have to live with the doubt because I'm not checking.
All right, pause right there. It happened around 1 a.m. So she's saying that at 1 a.m. they were hanging out, just her and her grandson, and she's like, whoa, what should we do? Should we go outside? Now I'm really calling bullshit on this one. You should have said the next morning we were watching it, I was like, whoa, what was that? Not, we were watching it at 1 a.m. with my grandson. Let the kids sleep.
I wouldn't see there's anything to worry about, but...
Okay, do you guys recognize that voice? I'm going to back it up just a hair because I want you to hear him from the beginning. That's right. Zach Baggins was asked for his opinion, apparently, on what was on the video.
I'm not checking.
I wouldn't see there's anything to worry about, but I cannot conclude that this is a hoax after seeing that footage, that's for sure.
Now, Jessica said some people think it's a child, a mariachi, or even a large cockatoo. UFO and chemtrail expert
I'll be honest. I don't think it was a large cockatoo. Let me keep going.
Mick West believes it's someone playing a prank, saying it doesn't look like a being walking and the lower half is transparent with no legs. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
All right. How you're not a UFO expert. There's no such thing. It's like me saying I'm a paranormal expert, which I won't because there's no such thing, Nick West. But still, very cool. I'll throw it on the Facebook fan page. Let me know what you guys think of that one. And why the heck not? I'll throw the Loch Ness one on there as well. Let's see what you think of that one as well. Okay, let's do what's next in paranormal news. I kind of got off track by throwing an extra paranormal news story in there. Up next in paranormal news, the Loch Ness Monster, not a monster's body, is a zoological impossibility. But that may be good for Nessie's true believers. That's right. We already know where Nessie is. If commonplace imagery portrays multi-arched sea serpents and witnesses are influenced by this imagery, then archiness might be presumed to be commonly represented in subsequent eyewitness reports of sea serpents. Whoa. All right. As it turns out, the hypothesis doesn't hold up. In fact, amid all Loch Ness Monster documented sightings, Paxton and Shine estimate only 1.5% describe an implausible animal with hoops or humps. Oh, I see what they're saying. So they're saying that the more reasonable sightings are just that, of something reasonable, of an animal that is reasonable. Sure, I can get behind that. Yeah, and it's real. All right, that's the important part. Nessie's real. I don't want to hear anything else about her. All righty, up next in paranormal news. Campers report Bigfoot sighting in north of Leavenworth. I don't know where Leavenworth is, to be honest with you. A Chelan County camper has reportedly had a startling encounter with what he believes was a Bigfoot along the Wenatchee River. Submitting the report to the Bigfoot Field Research Organization, report number 78920, classified as a Class A sighting, was submitted by Rylan Snyder, there we go, on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. According to the account, the encounter took place nearly a month earlier on the evening of July 26th, while he and his friend were camping a few miles downstream from the river's mouth near Plain, Washington. Okay, there I go. Now it's in Washington. The campers were relaxing above the riverbank on a cliffside campsite when one of them spotted something unusual through binoculars. My buddy's face went blank, like he had seen a ghost. I just kept talking and he wasn't responding. After retrieving the binoculars, he said he saw... Oh, nope, not a text. That was just an alert. He saw something extraordinary. I started looking through the binoculars and seeing a creature standing there on two legs. Damn near half the height of the tree. So I'm guessing 8 to 10 foot tall, just standing there. All right, that is interesting. He goes on to say... I'm just going to try and skip ahead here a little bit. He goes on to say, no, we all know what a Bigfoot is and how big they are. He had very dark reddish-brown hair that covered its whole body except its face and hands. Was super thick and wide, not just tall. Its face looked very ape-like. He said the creature appeared to be interacting with its environment, using its arms and hands to move brush and branches. After scanning the area and locking eyes with the camper, it reportedly ducked and sprinted upright into the woods. In that instance, it looked over the river, scanned up a river a bit, looked straight up at us on the top of the cliff, and it ducked down for about 15 seconds, then sprinted off into the woods on 2 legs upright. Okay, so it's not another camper. It's nothing like that. He said, I regret not having my phone with me. I'll now be investing in a camera, investing some time up in that area, searching until I can find it again. I'll be going back to check this weekend for footprints, fur, and... oh, by myself. They just wrote it weird. He's going to check for it by himself. Yeah, that's cool. I love it. A Class A Bigfoot sighting. Up next, dad attacked at assisted living unit when his son thinks he's possessed. Kurt here, they're not possessed. And if you honestly think someone is possessed, call a priest, get a proper demonologist, an exorcist. Don't do it yourself. Definitely don't attack your dad who's living at assisted living. Come on. The son said he attacked his father with a metal trash can because the dad was, quote, absolutely possessed by a demon. Todd Fromm went to his father's Ellisville assisted living facility the night of July 27th and told overnight security he needed to tell his dad about his sister's health. The father was lying in bed, trying to sleep when his son started banging on his door. When he answered, Fromm started yelling at him and punching him in the head and torso. Well, he's probably because he was asleep. Fromm grabbed a metal trash can and continued to hit his dad with it. Dad, I told you I was going to effing kill you, the son said during the attack, according to the complaint. The father, who is over 80 years old, suffered multiple fractured ribs and lacerations, including a potential laceration to his kidney. Good Lord. Both of his eyes were also swollen. He was taken in jail. Perfect. Good. Said, yep, bad son. Don't do that. Even if he is... and he answered the door possessed, you go, that's weird. Dad seems possessed today. I think I might have to call a priest. You don't start beating the crap out of him. Up next in paranormal news, I'm going to move a little quicker now because we're getting on here. Debrief. UAP researchers call for less stigma and more sensors. That's right. Another hearing was held. Advocates for greater scientific rigor in the studying of unidentified anomalous phenomena have renewed calls for wider data collection and proliferated sensor systems to better enable analysis and understanding of what they say is a potentially growing threat to U.S. national security. All right, moving on to the next one. That's, it's about the same old news, but anytime they make any mention of more legislation towards UAPs, I want to make sure I mention it. But I did, so we're moving on. Is the tic-tac ours? UAP experts clash over Lockheed claims and secret tech. This is kind of interesting. UAP experts are clashing over bold claims that the 2004 Nimitz encounter wasn't alien, but American-made. That's right. The UAP is saying that it might be a Lockheed secret military craft, if you will. That's what host Bryce Zabel, challenged viewers to do. He said that Lockheed Martin, the global security and aerospace company, and had this bold assertion that it had a ripple effect on the UAP community. The Tic Tac UAP sighting was originally occurred in November 2004, USS Nimitz. We all know that. For years, it was considered likely to be non-human in origin until journalist Ross Coulthart, I don't know, recently claimed, I'm going to have Ross on the show, maybe, hopefully, I'm going to ask so I can find out myself, recently claimed it's actually Lockheed Martin tech. Ross is and has long been a believer in UFOs, and he is generally pro-disclosure. Me too. In his 2021 book, In Plain Sight, he argues that UAPs are real and evidence is being withheld. But he's now claiming that the evidence being withheld is from Lockheed. It's from our own government. All right, that's really interesting. I got to see if I can get him on the show. I'd like to talk to him about that. But we are running deep in time on the podcast. Come on the paranormal news. So let's keep moving on here. Up next, paranormal news. San Antonio paranormal researchers purchase haunted Yorktown Hospital for tours and events. That is cool. That's right. A couple of paranormal researchers in San Antonio now own the perfect spooky site to nurse back to health, an abandoned, allegedly haunted hospital in Yorktown, said to house some 2,000 not-so-dearly departed souls in its corridors. It's called the Yorktown Memorial Hospital, and co-owners Fred and Stephen Garza Guzman recently acquired it. Cool. Invite me. I want to go. That sounds awesome. But I do have to keep moving on, so I'm going to move on past that one to the very last one in paranormal news. Very quick. I'm just going to read you the headline. Minnesota man shot and killed neighbor he believed to be an alien. Guess what? I don't think the neighbor was an alien. Don't fucking shoot your neighbors. Alrighty, before we get to the actual episode at hand, I do have to talk about one more weird thing. I got a bizarre email. So we'll call this like paranormal news adjacent. I got this bizarre email that I need help with deciphering. Normally, if I get an email that's really creepy or crazy or weird, I don't mention it on here because I don't want to encourage people. But this one, it just seemed like I had to share it. Red iron oxide dust has been discovered. This is in the news, Kurt. You can find it. I mean, I could kind of, but not really. Red iron oxide dust is being reportedly discovered after a rainfall in Glasgow, Scotland, just last week, Kurt. Kurt here. It was actually just this week. It was the 28th. The first warning signs of the arrival of the destroyer and binary star system, Kurt. We are now in the alignment, front side alignment, this time of year. The binary twin sun, the brown dwarf system, is called a failed sun. It's a half planet, half sun, and it's mostly iron. This would account for that red iron oxide dust that they found. Then, massive earthquakes occurring in Alaska and Russia the past 2 weeks with hundreds and hundreds of aftershocks prove that the binary twin sun is here. We're seeing the visual evidence of it as warned. Brown dwarfs are actually red. Okay, thank you for that. Why don't you call it red dwarfs? Because it's a TV show, I get it. Moving on. I'm going to skip ahead. Our planet entered deeper into the tail of a comet. The dust was the forerunner of gravel. These are words written by a man named Emanuel Veleskovsky in Worlds in Collision. One of the first signs of this encounter was the reddening of the Earth's surface by a fine dust of rusty pigment in sea, in lake, and in river. It gave a blood coloring to the water. Okay. Kurt, this is important. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and a fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on the earth. A third of the earth was burnt up. A third of the trees were burnt up, and the grass green was burnt up. Revelations 8:7. And there appeared another wonder. I'm not going to read all that. Cool. Basically, what this person is trying to tell me, you know what, I'm skipping ahead because this is too deep into the episode now. Whoever you are, thank you. Appreciate your email. Please don't kill me. They're saying that we are in the end times, Revelations, and that there's proof that we're in Revelations, and it is partially because of some brown dwarf, red dwarf, not the TV show, and that these massive earthquakes are going to continue to occur. Kurt here, I already said that. That's one of my predictions. These are going to continue. Ring of Fire is really going to heat up this year. I already said it. But they're saying this is proof we are in the end times. So I guess I don't know what to do with this information is what I'm saying. Thank you. I appreciate you emailing me. But next time, email me with, and here's my suggestion. I think you should do this. Or, since we're all going to die, Kurt, here is, all of the money I have. Don't give me all the money you have. Unless you're 1,000% sure we're going to die. But here's all the money I have. Go buy a house or live up, go get some tattoos or take a trip. You wanted to go to the UK. You wanted to see Liverpool. Stuff like that. Make it useful for me. I want to go to Area 51. Tell me, hey, if you're going to go to Area 51, you better do it by November because we're all going to be dead. That kind of a thing. I need information. I need to know what to do with this information. Don't just tell me this information. Most of the time, like I said, I'm not going to pass it along. But this email, all right, let me scroll. If you keep scrolling, it just keeps going. There is a lot of Revelations chapters in there. There is a lot of Bible quotes in this email. There's a lot, is what I'm saying. And it seems all bad. So thank you. Again, please don't kill me. I moved. Don't worry. Yeah. What am I supposed to do with this information? Okay, let's take a quick break while you think about what we're supposed to do with that kind of an information about the end of the world that's supposed to happen apparently now. not even by November. At least the other one, the UFOs, you got till November. Apparently this is happening now, and it's only going to get worse for the next couple of weeks. Great. Awesome. Please don't. I don't want earthquakes. But let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. We are back. That's right. We're back. On this week's episode, I really wanted to challenge myself. I thought, I decided to see if I could do an episode all about one color. You know, kind of like Sesame Street. This Paranormal Almanac is brought to you by the number 69. Nice. And the color blue. All right. So let's find out together, how long of an episode can I make regarding the paranormal and the color blue? Why did I pick the color blue? I just picked it. I mean, it's not a color. Like if you say, Kurt, pick a color, I'll usually pick red, but I just picked blue. I wanted to see if I could do an episode with the color blue. So welcome to the color blue episode. Let's start with the Blue Devil. Sure, you all know about the Red Devil with his, pitchfork and butt stuff, but did you know there's a Blue Devil? Well, there is. And for this one, we go all the way back to 1939 and over to West Virginia. One of the first reported sightings of the, air quote, Blue Devil was in December 1939 by Jumbo, West Virginia resident John Clevenger. Now, he was a farmer. He said his beloved hunting dog had been attacked and killed by the Blue Devil. Kurt here, I already hate the Blue Devil. Hey, Blue Devil, don't hurt dogs. How about you don't? Can you not? Is that too much to ask for? But it did. Now, nearby, another farmer named Ernest Kogar, there we go, I lost my place for a second, but we're back. Ernest Kogar said that his livestock had been spooked for several nights, and some wild animal had attacked and killed one of his cattle, and then one of his sheep. Then, nearby, Mrs. V.S. Cunlip, terrible last name, said she had heard a wild, inhuman scream outside her home in Diana, a few miles from Jumbo, and nearby H.A. Anderson heard something in Hacker Valley that sounded, quote, like a panther. So one by one, they reported these sightings or events or unhuman scream, which, to be honest, is way better than living in... Can you imagine living in the farm country and hearing a random human scream at night? I would always want to hear an unhuman scream. At least I could go, I don't know, what was that, a coyote? What was that, a panther? What was that, like a horse mating? No, a human scream, you're like, oh my God, there's a human and they're screaming something bad. I don't like it. So always lean towards unhuman screaming. Anyhow, police made reports and the town people heard about these incidents, which caused hunters to arrive from all over West Virginia, South Carolina, and New York City. I can only assume they were carrying inferior salsa. So all the hunters go out looking for the Blue Devil, which at this point is a terrible name, considering no one has seen it, so it is hardly blue or a devil. No luck in killing it, but the hunters from New York City said their hunting dogs were hot on the trail or something, but they were forced to cut the chase short when their hounds refused to proceed any further. Press had a field day with it and started writing stories like crazy, reporting on the rising panic in Webster County area when the big-time, air quotes, sightings, because again, nobody has seen it yet, spread to Randolph County in January of 1940, the Charleston Gazette reprinted a story from the Elkins Intermountain newspaper called, they were calling the beast a, quote, varmint, and wishing it might represent proof positive that panthers still stalked the West Virginia heartlands. Again, up to this point, I cannot find any eyewitness descriptions of said Blue Devil. More and more hunting parties happened to find whatever it was killing their livestock more and more. Several hunters claimed to have killed the beast to try and collect the reward that was being offered by the Valley Head Rod and Gun Club. First guy to try it was named Glenn Fisher or Bill Fisher, or Glenn Fisher of Bill Fisher Hollow. I don't know. It seems, depending on where you get your info, it seems very muddy. It's some person named Fisher, possibly of a place called Fisher. Now, he said he had shot and killed the animal in December of 1939, but its body had vanished before he could inspect it in the morning. Okay, maybe don't wait till morning to get your prized blue devil, dude. Then, coal miner Elmer Corley. That is the perfect name for a coal miner. Elmer Corley, he said he killed something that Webster County game protector C.T. Whitaker characterized as not quite a coyote, but resembling one. Kurt here, I think Elmer shot a dog. So Elmer somehow shows up with his dog and he collects the reward and assured everyone that the blue devil was dead. Now, they described it as a bluish dog-like creature larger than a pony that prowled the area late at night and emitted a ghostly howl. And not the one that he killed, that people just started reporting to the newspaper, oh, that thing? Elmer said he killed it, but there is a bluish dog-like creature larger than a pony, not any pony, that prowled the area late at night and emitted a ghostly howl. So that's that, right? Elmer killed it. Livestock's not dying. We're good, right? Well, no. The following year, the Webster Republican newspaper published a story about a similar countywide hunt 4 decades earlier. That's right. Now we go back to 1897, where residents in the same areas had participated in the exact same way, in the exact same hunting parties, for searching for what the paper claimed was the last known gray wolf in West Virginia. It's the last known animal. Let's kill it. Come on, humans, do better. Anyway, one night in January of 1895, the wolf in air quotes, again, no one had seen it, had killed 27 lambs belonging to Jacob Hamrick. Jacob Hamrick in Randolph County, who apparently sucked at keeping an eye on his lambs. How you let 27 of your lambs die? You hear one dying, you go out there and you save the rest. You don't go, ooh, that sounds like a lamb dying. Ooh, that sounds like another. Ooh, there's another. Ooh, it's another. Honey, there's a lot of lambs dying outside, but we'll get to it in the morning. Anyhow, Jacob complained, and the county courts of Randolph and Webster offered a $100 reward, which, by the way, is now worth over $3,000 in today's money, so a lot of money back then, for the killing of whatever it was that was killing 27 lambs belonging to Jacob Hamrick. Then, New Year's Eve, 1897, 2 years later, the wolf killed 5 more sheep at relative John Hamrick's farm. Because again, worst shepherds ever. By this point, neighbors must have been talking about suggesting new jobs for the Hamrick because they're terrible at protecting lambs. Well, they all went out to hunt, quote, the Blue Devil 1.0 in 2 feet of snow, stalking it over the course of several days before they finally killed it, and it being, sadly, one of the last gray wolves. So, yeah, do I think the Blue Devil is anything more than a predatory canine in that area? Nope. But you call it a Blue Devil, I'm going to talk about it on a blue episode, is what I'm saying. And there's barely any blue to it. It's a bluish dog-like creature. Bluish, not blue. This is not the blue-ish episode. This is the blue episode. So let's see if the next one is any more blue. Up next, we go to the Ozark Blue Man. I swear to God, he better be blue. We go back to 1865, to the Ozarks, the first known sighting of the Ozark Blue Man. And that was by Blue Soul Collins. That's right, you already got a blue in this story. Blue Soul Collins. The sighting took place in 1865, but I'm getting my info from the Springfield Republican newspaper. Now, they wrote about it in 1915. They wrote, in the early spring of 1865, Blue Sol Collins was hunting on the divide between the North Fork and Spring Creek. A light snow had fallen the night before. The woodland seemed to be covered by a myriad of tracks. Turkey tracks, deer tracks, rabbit, fox, and coon tracks, big and little tracks. Kurt here, you are trying to fill up a word count. Your editor said you have to do 100 words on this story no matter what. There is no reason to go turkey tracks, deer tracks, rabbit tracks, fox tracks, coon tracks, big tracks, little tracks, monkey track. Like, come on, dude. But most conspicuous were the tracks that resembled somewhat those of a bear. Blue Sol was a hunter without fear, and believing the bigger the game, the better the hunt, he followed the long, broad tracks with the claw-like impressions in soft snow. After following the trail for several hours over the North Fork, Indian, and Spring Creek hills, Sol suddenly came upon the object of his search on the north slope of the upper Twin Mountain. Sol looked, jumped out of the path of several descending boulders, and ran. He had seen an object unmistakably human, though strongly resembling a vicious animal, hurling huge boulders at him down the steep mountainside. All righty, now we're talking cryptid, possible Bigfoot, but no mention of Blue other than the guy that was getting the rocks thrown at him. Newspapers reported periodic encounters for the next few years, always the same, a ginormous man covered in fur chucking boulders, and they reported it in Douglas County, Ozark County, and Howell County. But we jump 8 years to 1874 through 1890. More of the same, nothing about blue hair yet. Jumping again to 1911, when a posse supposedly raided the Blue Man's den and found sheep pelts, hog hides, parts of dog skin, many bones, feathers, and other remains from past feasts. Okay, that is cool. If this is true, and he turned out to be a Sasquatch, this is one of the first Sasquatch dens ever mentioned. But no Blue. That's what I need. So we're going to skip ahead to 1915. Several loggers near Willow Springs believe they saw him near Blue Rock Mountain. Okay, Blue Rocks, Blue Witness, but no Blue Man. This was again reported in that Republican newspaper. Jay Tabor saw him less than a week ago. His hair, once black, is now gray, and his body not so robust as it was 50 years ago when Blue Sol Collins saw him first. But he's still very active and is probably the best living example of the simple life. What? What are you talking about? Is it just an old dude? Is it just like an old hillbilly up in the mountains? Not Blue. Not Blue. Several local newspapers wrote about the sighting. The Stanberry Headlight wrote on July 8th, Douglas County wood haulers reported having seen the strange creature several times lately. Then, August 10th, Moberly Weekly Monitor said, news comes to this site that after an absence of 4 years, the mysterious Blue Man of Spring Creek has again appeared in his old haunts and is causing great excitement in the wild and hilly country along Big North Fork, Indian, and Spring Creeks in the eastern end of Douglas County. No descriptions. No descript. That's like 3 newspapers with barely any descriptions of a possible Bigfoot, possible Blue Man. According to the Mountain Grove Journal, this same month there was, quote, a wild man at large. Then I found the St. Joseph newspaper, which said, St. Joseph has many hued people, but it has nothing that will compare with this Ozark Mountain freak, and on which the editor of the Howell County Gazette will discourse most entertainingly when he visits St. Joseph at the state press meeting the middle of September. Kurt here, not helpful. Not a helpful story at all. So, the Blue Man of Ozark. If you go and look him up, there's a lot of people that go, oh, he was a mythical creation, and that the stories just kept getting bigger and bigger the more the newspapers talked about him. And by the end of it, it was complete fiction. You know what? I kind of believe that. He sells newspapers. Cryptids sell newspapers. They say that much objection to the story is taken by the residents of that part of the state who declare that they do much injury to the region by creation the impression that the people have to go armed to the teeth to protect themselves from a Blue Man. So that's it about this not blue cryptid person, right? Nope. I looked some more on newspapers.com, and found about 10 years later, March 1925, the Nevada Daily News wrote, "The clipping you enclosed is stated in facts. However, this man is now dead. Many of his children now live in a wild state on the banks of Spring Creek, all colored blue, live in the nude, and subsist on small wild animals such as bears, wildcats, and mountain lions, which these people devour raw. Many of them are 7 to 8 feet tall and weigh 300 to 500 pounds and are often seen carrying young horses and cattle on their shoulder to their den or their large caves where they live." I was like, ooh, all right, there we go. Just said blue, the blue descendants. Then I looked just a little bit further in that same article. It was a farce article. It was a joke article trying to capitalize on past instances, and they admitted it. Like, nope, it was fake. Now, I did find little pieces about him in other papers, though, like who he is, nobody's sure, but he is said to be a descendant of French traders who visited this territory just before the Revolutionary War. One of the traders was accompanied by a Spanish woman from Florida. He cast her aside somewhere in the Ozarks, and she is said to have been the great-great-grandmother of the Blue Man of Spring Creek. His other ancestors were Indians. At least such is the story of Jerry Hildebrand, who settled in Douglas County in 1820 and died there in 1885. All right. All of that is from one man named Jerry Hildebrand, who talked about it before 1885, but it wasn't mentioned until around 1920s. Again, grain of salt, that puppy. I do not believe that newspaper article at all. And if you're keeping score at home, 2 blue cryptids, neither of which turned out to be blue. Does this mean this episode is doomed? Well, let's find out with this next one. We go to the blue skeleton man, which is described as being a glowing blue skeleton man seen in Japan. Okay, there we go. It's hard to say, like, what, you know, that's, you're not mistaking somebody for a blue skeleton man. I'm excited about this one. I got really excited about it. So I started to research this one. And, well, it's only one photo of the blue skeleton man. It was taken in 2020, so very new, on the Goto Islands, the Goto Islands of Nagasaki, Japan. His name is Takeshi Nakazawa. He said he took the photo on the Goto Islands on April 6, 2009, and a blue skeleton-like object is peeking out from behind a wall. He analyzed the photo and determined it was 1 meter tall. All righty. Sounds awesome. Even if it's only one photo, we got this weird blue skeleton man. I can't wait to see this picture for my first blue cryptid on this episode. And I found the picture and immediately debunked it. Like, immediately. Like, you pull up the photo and you go, that looks an awful lot like a blue flower poking up behind a wall. And with 3 minutes of research, I discovered that the photo was taken during the blooming period of a flower, a very pretty blue flower called the iridaceae. I don't know. Iridaceae. Sure. It is so obviously a flower. Like, even if I squinted at it, you know what it looks like? Not like a blue skeleton man. It looks like a blue flower. It's a blue flower. It's a known area with blue flowers. Like, you could have pixelized this thing so badly until you couldn't have figured out what it was, and I would still go, I don't know, still kind of looks like a blue flower to me. At this point, Kurt thought this episode is doomed. Staying in Japan, let's talk about a human blue, this time over in Osaka. Here is all I can find about human blue. And boy, does it not start strong. In June of a certain year, yeah, that's what they say. In June of a certain year, not a strong start. The witness, a 3rd grader in junior high school. Oh, good. No name, no name of the school, love it, was looking out of his classroom window at a park square when he saw a slender, tall, blue humanoid. It was about 2 meters tall, had a glossy body surface, and narrow eyes. The creature appeared from the left side and disappeared towards a dead-end wall on the right side. He named this mysterious creature Human Blue. Kurt here. I'm betting it was a flower. Wow, this episode better end strong because it is not starting good for Kurt at all. Up next, we go to southern China for the Maltese tiger, or the blue tiger as it's called. Now, it's mostly in the Fujian province of southeast China. It is said to have bluish fur with dark gray stripes. We did it! We have a blue cryptid on this episode. Okay, there are only 2 sightings, but they're fairly detailed sightings of this tiger. Then a lot of generic ones. But I'm pretty confident in this one. I'm very happy with this one. Let me just say, this one did not let me down. Around 1910, Harry Caldwell, who was an American missionary and big game hunter. Normally, I'd say, fuck you, big game hunter. I still do. Fuck you, big game hunter. You're dead anyway. But in this case, it probably will help with the actual identification. He spotted and hunted a blue tiger. Not a regular tiger, but a blue tiger outside Fuzzhoo. Sure, whatever. Well, dick move, Harry. Don't hunt it. But his search is chronicled in his book, Blue Tiger, from 1924, and by his hunting companion, Roy Chapman Andrews. Roy Chapman Andrews, he talked about it in his Camps and Trails in China 1925 book. He said, the markings of this beast are strikingly beautiful. The ground color is of a delicate shade of Maltese, that's blue, changing into gray blue on the underparts. The stripes are well defined like those of the ordinary yellow tiger. Okay, as much as I hate the whole we found this beautiful rare creature, let's hunt it and kill it stuff, these two, like I say, give credence to a blue tiger. They didn't just hear locals talk about it. They saw it. And they saw it often. And they hunted it for days. They didn't just see a black shape at night and call it the blue tiger. They didn't hear someone talking about a thing called a blue tiger and then just saw a regular tiger. No, they actually saw it numerous times during the days. Plus, it wasn't just them. We jump to kind of modern days. A man named Carl Schuker. He comes from the son of a U.S. Army soldier who served in Korea during the Korean War. Now, his father sighted a blue tiger clear as day in the mountains near what is now the demilitarized zone of Korea. Again, a daytime sighting about 40 years after those first sightings. Then, there are a bunch of no-name sightings around Burma. So we have 3 locations with blue tigers right now. Blue tigers have reported from Burma through Korea, through southern China. Sadly, though, there is a good chance that this tiger is gone for good now because the South Chinese tiger is basically critically endangered, some think extinct, due to its illegal and continued use in shitty Chinese medicine. So, if they weren't seen in Malta, why were they called the Maltese tiger, Kurt? Well, that's pretty simple. The term Maltese comes from domestic cat terminology for blue fur. It refers to a slate gray coloration that looks very blue. The Russian blue, for example, and the British short-haired variety of blue Maltese, the British blue, and blue bobcats and lynx all have a genetic mutation and combinations that result in a bluish hue. So, that means it is physically possible to have a blue tiger. They say if the non-agouti, sure, and the dilute recessive genes, if they both happen, they can combine to produce a solid blue, grayish color as found in domestic cats such as the British blue and the Russian blue, which are very blue-looking cats. But they would not produce the striped blue tigers that are reported. So there is something going on. But I will say, this one, was real, but sadly probably not around much anymore, if at all. But hey, it's still a win for a blue cryptid. I'm going to call it a blue cryptid. If I could switch over, hold on. Call it a blue cryptid. Blue cryptid, the first blue cryptid of the episode. All righty. I am already more excited about this episode. I'm an hour into it. We finally got to a blue cryptid. But it was at this point in making the outline, I was slightly panicking because I was like, oh, it's 1 out of 3. That's bad. But then I remembered the following. Bat Squatch. That's right. Bat Squatch. We go to Mount St. Helens, Washington in 1980. Shortly after the eruption of Mount St. Helens, reports started coming out of a blue, monkey-like creature with red eyes and wings. A dog-like muzzle face, blue fur, sharp teeth, bird-like feet, leathery bat wings spanning between 15 to 50 feet, with a reported height ranging from 9 to 15 feet. This thing is big. Bat Squatch. Here to save the day. It is a cryptid. It is blue, and it's been seen, and seen by a bunch of different people. We go to April 1994. Brian Canfield was driving in Washington's Pierce County when his truck suddenly died, and that's when he said a large creature landed in front of him. He said it was human-like, 9 foot tall with bat-like wings. Kurt here, that's not human-like. I get what you mean. It's got arms and legs, but still, don't call it human-like when it's 9 feet tall with bat wings. And he said it also sported a coat of blue fur. Next, Butch Whitaker reported that he was in a private plane in the vicinity of Mount St. Helens when he saw a flying bat squatch. Then, 1998, the driver of a truck hauling logs in northern Oregon reported a collision with a bat squatch. The bat squatch seen at this time was described as 15 feet tall, purplish-colored eyes and nose, with smaller wings. Not done yet, though. We go to 2009 near Mount Shasta in California. Several hikers there witnessed a, quote, huge creature with leathery wings spanning almost 50 feet fly out of the crevice in a mountain. At first, an eyewitness described the creature as having a head similar to a pterodactyl. However, upon reconsideration, the witness claimed it was more akin to the flying fox bat. Not done yet, though. We go to 2009. Right? Nope, that's when I talk. We go to June 2011. Sorry. We go to June 2011. A man that wanted to remain anonymous was in his yard walking his dog. You don't need to walk your dog in your yard. You just let your dog out. Unless there's no fence. Sure, why not? He went to pick up the dog when he saw something in the sky. He said the following. I saw something flying in the sky. It had bat wings, blue fur, and a face similar to eyes glowing red. It was about 9 feet tall at the least. After I watched it, it just flew away. Then, April 14th, 2014, an archbishop at Archbishop Hoban High School in Akron, Ohio. A second-period Spanish class spotted a giant black mass zip by the window of the classroom at incredible speeds. The class claimed it was about 9 feet tall with a 20 to 30-foot wingspan and blue fur. So there you have it. We're an hour into this episode. Not done yet. Finally, a multi-sighting over multiple decades and multiple states. Bat Squatch, you lovable bastard, you saved the show. All right, that got me thinking. I'm feeling better about this episode now, but there's got to be more. Maybe it's not just cryptids. And I thought, okay, what other blue things in the paranormal world are there? Can I find any of them? And, well, if you've been to the southeast of the United States, I bet you've seen one. And you might not even know, like, what I'm talking about. I'm talking about paint. Paint called haint blue. That's right. In Southern folklore, haint blue is a light blue color, and it's traditionally used on porches, window frames, and doors, especially in, like, Georgia, Mississippi, like, the southeast of America. And it's used to ward off evil spirits and malevolent entities. The color is rooted in Gullah Geechee folklore, and it believed to deter haints, or evil spirits. Now, the term haint is a colloquialism of haunt. This blue color is thought to trick or repel ghosts. Haunt, by the way, is historically used in African American vernacular to refer to a ghost in the hoodoo belief, or a witch-like creature seeking to chase victims to their death by exhaustion. That's fun. I don't like that term of ghost. Anyhow, some people think that haint blue is not only good for, ghosts and witches and paranormal things, but it actually may deter insects like wasps and birds as well. But the belief is that spirits cannot cross the color blue, associating it with sky or water, which are seen as barriers in the paranormal community. So that's why many porches and ceilings were painted haint blue to confuse the spirits and make them pass by instead of going into the houses. So yeah, if you've been to Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, like a lot of the southeast places, you'll see haint blue porches. And thankfully, people are, discovering them when they're refurbishing these old houses, these 1800 houses. They're finding this haint blue underneath, decades of paint, and they're bringing the porches back to the haint blue color. It's a new popular fad again, if you will. So there you go. There's a little paranormal blue fun fact to cleanse your palate. Now, this next one, not exactly paranormal, but I had to give it an honorary mention. Because there's freaking blue people, like Smurfs, but regular people. They're known as the Blue Fogots, or the Blue People of Kentucky. In case you haven't figured it out, they're from Kentucky. It's an ancestral family living in the hills of Kentucky starting in the 19th century. They are known for having a genetic trait that led to the blood disorder, I'm going to get it wrong, methemoglobinemia. Methemoglobinemia. Sure, why not? And it caused the skin to be blue. Not just a little blue. I'm talking freaking blue. Benjamin Stacy, born in 1975, is the last known descendant of the Fogots to have been born exhibiting the characteristic blue color of the disorder, though he quickly lost his blue skin tone, only having blue tinges on his lips and his fingertips whenever he was cold or agitated. So again, not necessarily paranormal, but I had to bring them up. There's freaking blue people out there. Well, there were. Alrighty, next up we go to Texas, where you can visit this next blue thing. And it is paranormal. And it's called the Blue Ghost. It's also known as the USS Lexington. So if you're ever in Corpus Christi, Texas, you can tour this haunted ship. That was built during World War II, commissioned in February of 1943. The USS Lexington's planes destroyed 372 aircraft in the air and another 475 on the ground. And her guns brought down between 15 and 20 additional planes. However, the Lexington, man, it got slammed. It took its fair share and then some of damage and casualties. She endured 4 major attacks. 2 of them are the most notable ones. One in 1943, she was struck by a Japanese torpedo. Then again in 1944, when a Japanese kamikaze plane hit the engine room and the back of the bridge. 370 men died aboard the Lexington, which, Kurt here, is probably the reason that to this day, it is haunted as fuck. People have seen ghosts aboard her all the time. And I'm talking all the paranormal usuals are seen and heard here. People have even felt sick in some areas like the switch room. The sound of footsteps and voices have been heard. Ghosts of a Japanese pilot has been seen. An American seaman has been seen. An engine room operator has been seen. And others have all been sighted all over the ship. In the engine room, the one that was hit by the kamikaze pilot. Although I think... Oh, no, yeah, it was. It was the engine room. It was hit by the kamikaze pilot. Witnesses experienced the sounds of men screaming and ghostly men running for their lives. That's cool. I mean, not for them, but they're ghosts. They're dead. They can't feel it. The museum also offers a late-night paranormal investigation. Participants in these investigations are more hands-off. Guests utilize their methods and equipment. Booked at night, visitors will get a brief introduction and lay of the land from the ship's paranormal investigator before you're let loose on the ship. The investigation of the ship ends at about 2 a.m. That sounds cool. I would love to do an independent investigation on a known haunted ship. Alrighty, let's move on to this next one on my list. I wanted to investigate the blue horses of Africa. And I immediately thought, I'm going to debunk this one. Or, they're not going to be blue. But Turns out they aren't cryptids. They're a known group of horses in Africa with blue coats, very similar to the blue tiger. The Namib desert horses are feral horses found in Namibia, often with blue roan coats, and aren't native to Africa, but were brought over a while ago and learned to survive. So there you go. Not paranormal, not a cryptid, but something I never knew existed, even though they're known to be real, though. I can't find one freaking picture that makes them look blue. They look gray to me. Whereas, like, if you look up, like, a blue cat or the Maltese cat, they look very bluish. I can see it, and my friend has a cat who's blue. And I'm like, yeah, you got a blue cat. That's cool. These horses, they just look like normal gray horses. But I didn't want to start another, is this dress black and blue or gray or gold or whatever the hell that nightmare was a few years ago. So maybe it's just me, and you're going to look at the same photo and be like, nah, them horses look really blue. They deserve the name, the Blue Horses of Africa, Kurt. Sure, I believe you. I don't want to fight about it. So let's keep on keeping on. Up next is a cryptid I want to own. I personally think is real, and I'm waiting for one to be mine. I have a space for it. Like, literally, I'm touching the space where I would put one of these cryptids. And I could keep it, and I would love it, and it'd be mine. It is the blue-nosed frog. It has only one known sighting, but it's relatively recent. So let's work together to find more of these blue-nosed frogs. This one, we go back to July of 1997. At an animal fair in England, Jonathan Downs saw a man selling 3 tree frogs with blue, glowing noses. After the fair was done, Jonathan discovered that there is no species of frog similar to those he saw known to science. Kurt here. Hey, Jonathan, why didn't you go and buy a blue, glowing-nosed frog, Jonathan? You had a chance to buy 3 and hope that they mate and make a bunch of glowing-nosed babies. What did you think you were going to find them cheaper on Amazon? Why were you wasting this opportunity? This is a missed opportunity. Also, someone must know all of the vendors that were there that day. It's from 1997. It's not from the 30s. Yeah, I get that 1997 is like 20-something years old, but I don't care. Surely there is a list of vendors, and one of the vendors must have been like, oh, the blue glowing nose frog guy? Yeah, that's Steve. He lives in Binkensham. Go over to Binkensham and get yourself a blue-nosed frog from Steve. Come on, people. Someone find me a blue glowing-nosed frog. Anyhow, up next is one I don't want, so no one confuse these and accidentally send me a blue men of the Minch, also known as a storm kelpie. They are, well, apart from their blue color, they look exactly like humans and are about the same size as humans. See, I do not have room in my apartment for a blue man that doesn't even play like weird musical instruments or catch marshmallows in their mouth and at some Vegas play. No, don't send me a blue man of the Minch. You send me a blue man of the Minch, I'm returned to sendering that. Or I'm just going to leave it out on the porch, and then you got a blue man just wandering around an apartment in Los Angeles. No. These creatures are from Scottish folklore, inhabiting the Minch, which is a silly name for a strait between the Outer Hebrides and the mainland Scotland. Sure, why not? They dwell in underwater caves and are known for creating storms to sink ships. The mythical blue men are said to have been part of a tribe of, quote, fallen angels, which split into 3. The first became the ground-dwelling fairies. The second evolved to become the sea-inhabiting blue men. And the remainder, the, quote, merry dancers of the northern lights in the sky. Look, if you want to see one of these blue men of the Minch, be prepared for an epic rap battle, because when the blue men gather to attack passing vessels, their chief, sometimes named Shoney, he rises up out of the water and he shouts 2 lines of poetry to the skipper of the boat. And if that skipper of the boat cannot add 2 lines to complete the verse, the blue men seize the boat and wreck it. All right, here's the following exchange between the skipper of a boat and the chief of the blue men. But before I do that, I need to put a little background music in here. Okay, let's first start with the blue chief. We're going to start with the blue chief here. Ready? Man of the black cap, what do you say as your proud ship cleaves the brine? Then the captain said, my speedy ship takes the shortest way, and I'll follow you line by line. Then the blue chief said, my men are eager, my men are ready to drag you below the waves. So the skipper said, my ship is speedy, my ship is steady. If it sank, it would wreck your caves. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. So this quick response took the Blue Chief by surprise. He was defeated and unable to do any damage to the vessel. The ship's skipper, a man named Marshall Mathers. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. It never says what the skipper's name is. The Blue Men returned to their underwater caves, allowing the vessel free passage through the strait. Okay. Again, I can assume you have all listened to unwelcome songs by me, wherever you get your music, so you know that I would be no good in a rap battle, especially based on how long it took me between beats to find the beat again to finish these 4 lines. But, look, I will say, though, I did grow up on 17 Mile, which is 9 miles more than Eminem. So maybe that wasn't too bad. Man of the black cap, what do you say as your proud ship cleaves the brine? My speedy ship takes the shortest way, and I'll follow you line by line. My men are eager, my men are ready to drag you below the waves. My ship is ready. My ship is speedy, my ship is steady. If it sank, it would wreck your caves. See, it's way better than that stupid devil wants the freaking fiddle, man. Anyhow, I looked up the Blue Men of the Minch to find out where they came from. And some suggest their origin might be related to the Picts, who painted their bodies blue, so sure, maybe, or sadly, to North African slaves brought to Scotland by the Vikings, who were known as, quote, the Blue Men of the Desert. Well, there you go. Did you expect? I'm not done yet. Don't worry. The episodes continue. Don't hit stop. Keep listening. Did you expect a rap battle an hour and 15 minutes into this episode? I didn't. When I was writing this outline, I sure as hell didn't. But up next, we go to the Blue Dilly, also known as the Blue Dillon Monster. So we go off to Colorado and back to 1962, is said to inhabit Dillon Reservoir in Summit County, Colorado. Now, the first sighting of Blue Dilly began after the completion of the Dillon Dam, when locals and visitors began reporting strange disturbances in the lake's water. They said that swells without winds, sudden currents, and sightings of a large gray to dark blue, okay, close, I almost said it's not blue, screw you, gray to dark blue, large manta ray-looking thing beneath the surface began to circulate, especially amongst nighttime kayakers and fishermen. One account came from a couple who, while kayaking back from a small island in Frisco Bay, experienced powerful unseen forces pushing their boats forward through the water. The wife later claimed to have seen a wide, grayish creature with a fin and what appeared to be a clawed hand beneath her kayak. She sketched the figure, and her husband became obsessed with uncovering the truth, eventually documenting his findings in a self-published book about Blue Dilly. Holy crap, that's hard to say. In a self-published book about Blue Dilly. So, Blue Dilly is typically described as grayish blue, flat-bodied, not fat, I don't want to body shame, flat-bodied aquatic creature with a large fin or flipper, and sometimes a vaguely humanoid hand or claw. Witnesses often report sudden propulsion through the water, unexplained wakes or disturbances near the surfaces. And unlike traditional lake monsters, Blue Dilly is not always seen, but is often felt. No. You don't name something Blue Dilly if you're only feeling it. Like, no. All right. I'll give you that one. Well, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think. Did you learn any new blue paranormal things? Was this episode a success? Should I have picked another color? And if so, what color should I have picked? Well, these questions and more will not be answered on the next episode of Paranormal Almanac.
With your host?
Nope, not yet. Not be answered on the next episode of Paranormal Almanac. There we go. Let me know what you guys think. Was this blue episode a success? Did I manage to find enough blue things to make it a success? Once again, I'm your host, Kurt Samig. This has been another edition of Paranormal Almanac. Steve. Swear euch erst hier Sibisham, hier Sibisham, swear would well be guys, here run him, Hergy on him.